And thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark TV. I'm so excited to have you here with me today. You know what I like to do on my show. I want to enlighten you. I want to inspire you. I want to empower you to become your best self. Well, I'm really excited to have my guest on today. We are visiting with Campbell Bolwell, and we are talking about his book, From the Mountaintop. So you know what I'm going to tell you to do. Go on, get comfy, get cozy, get your coffee or get your tea, because we are about to get started. Hello, Campbell. Thank you so much for joining me on Daily Spark TV today.
Hey, how are you? Good.
I am well. Thank you so much for visiting with us here today. Now, as is the tradition, we always give our guests an opportunity to introduce themselves to perhaps those few people out there that may be unfamiliar with you or with your work. So my first question for you, Campbell, is what makes you you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
In a very short time, I'm in Australia, and I was born in outback Australia and grew up here, and I've traveled the world. I've had factories established in 6 different countries. I've written a couple of books, of which this is one, and I'm enjoying my life in my 70s.
I love it. I love it. Now, being an author, is that something that you've always wanted to do, or did you find that life simply presented the opportunity at the right time?
I had some, I'm an ordinary person, but I had some extraordinary adventures. And those adventures led me to develop my theories on spiritual evolution and everything else that goes with it. And the book is a very personal book about those experiences, how they influenced me and led me to the observations that I've made.
Now, the title of your book, From the Mountaintop, I like the title. Why did you decide on that phrase to entitle your book?
I think because I realized that to look at, everyone has a different belief structure, and to see reality, you need to get away from the humdrum of normal life where, you know, you're worried about the neighbor's dog barking at night or something like that. You have to stand back, and From the Mountaintop is my view of getting away and observing the goings on, not just physics and science and everything else, but human behavior and so on. It's the advancement of that, together with my own developed method of meditation, which I've been doing for now 65 years. And I think that gives you many of the answers to the questions about life. They certainly did for me personally.
Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to the target reader, and many times authors will say that they had a particular group of people in mind when they were writing. So along that same vein, would your book be appropriate for our younger teens, perhaps starting high school, or would you say college age and above is more appropriate?
That's a good question, because I don't think there's any barrier here. I think we're all on this journey, okay? And on this journey, whatever our age, I've seen people in their 90s still learning and still developing their own personalities, because they're open to the learning experience. So yes, teenagers, terrific. I mean, that's one of the hardest parts of your life. Everything's changing and you're adapting, and you don't know where you are and what you're going to believe in, and you're very much influenced by your peer group or your parents or your people around you. At some point, you've got to realize that you're on your own, and you have to develop your own philosophy towards who you are and where you want to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you are so right. Being a teenager, and especially in today's society, is one of the toughest times to grow up in. And we definitely need to make available that path for them so that they know where they're going. I love it. I love it. Now, as far as reading your book is concerned, so many authors will fashion the book in a way where you should read it from cover to cover, meaning page after page. Others may do it chapter by chapter. Perhaps even still, many like to do it like a devotional where you would read a page or two, settle in with that, roll it around, and then the next day perhaps pick up for with another page or two. How do you style your book as far as the reading is concerned?
Well, it's a story of my journey. So in a sense, it's a narrative that goes on, and in the middle of it, there's the philosophy that develops. So, I mean, I point out in the book, I don't expect everyone to follow my own journey. It's a description of the journey that I made and what it meant to me, and how it developed my personality. And I think people will get something out of it. Everyone that's read it gets some aspect of it which somehow connects to them, and that's what they take up.
So are you saying then that people should read it in a freestyle as far as how to consume the book? You know, should they read until they can't read anymore? Are you saying that they should just, page after page, just take it all in and enjoy it? Or did you write it in a style where you kind of put breaks in there to allow people to stop at this chapter, put the book down, really consume what you've written? Is there a suggestion there as far as how they should consume the book?
Yeah, I think it is, because it's a series of stories, and some of them, I mean, near-death experiences and things like that, which go through, and they all teach us something, and we can take from the experience some aspect of it and find meaning there. And I think that's its value. If you read it chronologically, you will get the full picture.
Hmm. Now, when you were doing a research or any research to include in your book, did you find that there were any findings that perhaps influenced you more than another?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, I was I was definitely a nonconformist. I failed high school. I did my own program of self-study, and I'm a mad reader of books, not just fiction, but study of physics and science and microbiology, all sorts of things which I I didn't learn in school. I wasn't impressed with school, and I ended up being quite rebellious, I guess, and that led to me being having my own businesses, developing my own philosophy.
Hmm. Now, one of the things, if I understand correctly, that you talk about in your book is consciousness. How do you address this? Is a subject that, depending on um, where you are in your life's journey, depends on how you discuss a thing called consciousness. So, how do you address it in your book? But before you talk about that, can you also give us a definition of what you mean when you're using it, of course, in the book? What do you mean by consciousness and how do you address it?
Okay, I think that here's the key to our existence. I believe that consciousness is what, if we describe the meaning of life, I believe it's the development of consciousness, and that means essentially that we are spiritual entities which live temporarily in a physical environment of cause and effect, of circumstances, and we learn from that the wisdom that enables us to what some people call enlightenment, but basically it's the achievement of where you sit on the mountaintop and you say to yourself, now I understand. And that's the key. That's where consciousness has developed to a degree of wisdom that is very difficult to describe, but you can't have wisdom without love. So we come back to that.
I love it. I love it. Well, Campbell, it is time for us to take a very short break. But before we do, can you remind everyone, please, what is the title of your book? Where can we get a copy? And of course, how do we stay in contact with you?
Okay, it's the book is From the Mountaintop. My name, Campbell Bolwell, and it's available through Amazon and Barnes and Noble and some of the good booksellers. It's available at this point, no problem.
Alrighty, everyone. Now you know where you can get a copy of the book. We'll be back right after this.
A natural disaster may force you to evacuate, and the coronavirus could impact your emergency plans. So take steps now to help your family and community prepare. Keep a supply kit stocked with cloth face coverings, disinfecting supplies, and hand sanitizers. Check with local officials about what shelter spaces will be open during quarantine efforts. And remember to review the CDC's guidelines with the whole family. Disasters won't wait. Neither should you. Visit ready.gov/plan to make a plan today.
Have the past few weeks or months been challenging? Yes, for all of us. We've been thrown into circumstances which we could never have imagined. Loss of jobs, working from home, general uncertainty, all while dealing with COVID. It's causing us to be a little on edge. If you need someone to talk to, Dr. Angela Chester can help. Visit newlifepastoralcounseling.com to get started. We're in this together.
Know how to wear your face mask correctly. First, wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds or use hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Put your face mask over your nose and mouth and secure it under your chin. If the mask has loops, hook them around your ears. If it has ties, secure them at the base of your neck and crown of your head. Make sure you can breathe easily. Remove your mask carefully. Untie the straps or unhook the loops from your ears and pull the mask away from your face without touching the front of your mask. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth when taking off your mask. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds immediately after removing your mask, or use hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Learn more at cdc.gov/coronavirus and coronavirus.gov.
Hi, do you have something to share? Be a guest. Want to sponsor an episode? Visit drangelachester.com. Thanks again for watching Daily Spark TV.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark TV. I am so excited to be spending time today with Campbell Bolwell, and we're talking about his book, From the Mountaintop. Now, Campbell, my next question for you is dealing with meditation. Now, you kind of threw a word out there before, enlightenment, and I know that many people who talk about those things that have mind, body, spirit connection, they talk about meditation and enlightenment, becoming awakened, if you will, spiritual development. Meditation, I believe that that's something that you also talk about or address in your book. Why was it important to include meditation as well?
I believe that with meditation, and I have a different meditation from most people. and I can tell you how it developed. It's quite unusual, but meditation allows you to concentrate on a single thought. Meditation allows you to realize the power of a single thought. And I think that that's something that in everyday life we miss out on because our minds are a jumble. And we are able to untangle it and to concentrate to such a degree where you can look through, it looks like crystal water. You can see the bottom of it. And that's the essence of real meditation. I've been doing it for 65 years, and the reason I got into it is because I suffered as a young teenager from migraines, and in desperation I went to a hypnotherapist who was a young man who used to do stage hypnotherapy, make people act like ducks and dogs and things. And he turned to the clinical side, and he said, I need you for 4 nights together. And he taught me the art of self-hypnosis. And it was from that I developed my own philosophy for meditation and achieving the deeper levels of meditation. So it worked for me. I don't say it works for everyone, but it worked for me. And I've been practicing it for 65 years. And the book has a lot of the philosophy that comes out of this meditation. I mean, you can sit on the mountaintop, but if you've got the ability to question, always ask the question, why? Why is this? Why is that? And look, I design sports cars. I've built 900 of them here in Australia. I've got businesses in Thailand and Australia, of course, and I've had businesses in Mexico and Canada and Taiwan and Vietnam. So it's been a journey of wonderful experiences, absolutely wonderful experiences. And the people I've met are absolutely inspirational. And it's that I think inspires me to write the book. I'm not an author. The fact that it's readable and everything has more to do with the talents of my editor and people like that who know how to make these things sound good when you read them. But it's just my own experiences coming through. But meditation's a big part of it, and I think that helps us grow. It helps us to get past the roadblocks that we often find in life. We can see past it. The problems you have today, in a month's time, you'll wonder what they were. You'll sort of think back and say, hang on, what was I worried about? It's gone. I can't even think what it was. So time is the great healer, of course, but we're evolving. And I believe we're evolving spiritually. And I believe that the key to all things is consciousness. I come back to it. I think the evolution of consciousness is what we're here for. And whether it's within our religion or something like that, I'm not concerned. I think they're all stepping stones towards this ultimate wisdom.
Now, you talk about this human experience that we're having. Many people believe that we are spirit beings having a human experience. Others believe that we are human beings trying to figure out what to do with spirit. With that being said, how do you address the human experience in your book?
Well, I know it's not everyone's belief, but I believe that we're evolving entities, and I believe that all life forms have a degree of consciousness. We just happen to be at the top of the food chain here. We're at the top. We're very evolved entities. and we can actually see the way we're evolving, which a lot of lower life forms just can't do. So I think that we've achieved this goal of being able to analyze ourselves, and it's a wonderful thing. I mean, it's a wonderful thing because we can see the beauty of what's around us. We can appreciate nature, if you like. We can appreciate the other life forms that journey with us on this evolving planet Earth, and I think we can learn from it. We're in a privileged position. Spiritually, we're in a privileged position to be able to find this wisdom. It's rare, and I think it takes many lifetimes. I think that we eventually will get there, where we can, as I say, sit on the mountaintop and say, now I understand. And that's the enlightenment stage. And I can tell you, very few people, I mean, I've still got lessons to learn. I'm far from perfect, like everybody else, but you grow towards it. And there's something drawing us to it. There's something drawing us to this this pinnacle of where we want to learn this wisdom. And I hate to use the word love, but it's I think it's the only element I can say to describe it, because it's not romantic love or anything else. It's a joining together of consciousness in that we are concerned and feel for other people. And when we get to the stage where we can love the unlovable, where we can forgive the unforgivable, I think we've achieved something pretty remarkable, really, in our journey towards this wisdom.
I have to agree with you on that. And as you were talking, it just made me think about that agape love that we are taught that God has for us, that learning to see each other through God's eyes, and not the pettiness that we see, using our human eyes, but trying to love one another in that sense of we are all interconnected in one way or another. I love it. I love it. Now, considering this is, of course, a Christian network, and I ask this question of everyone, and that is about your faith and what you do. Not if you go to church every Sunday, not what denomination you are or anything like that, but just, do you think that your faith, your belief in the higher power, has helped form you into the person that you are today?
Oh, definitely. And look, whether you go to church or not, or what religion you follow, even, I mean, there's we all have a purpose. I honestly believe we have a purpose, and it's different. Everyone's different, just as everyone will get a different vision of the philosophy in my book. I think we're all different in our path, and I think that there is higher spiritual assistance there, and I think we tap into it. We begin to realize the power of our own mind. We begin to realize that there's something bigger. I mean, when we look at the sky at night, we're looking into the mind of God, really. The amount of creativity, the amount of beauty, the fact that it's not stationary. Everything is moving. Everything, even the molecules around the atoms are moving. I don't believe creation happened in 6 days. It's still going on, and I think that there are new galaxies being formed as we look into the skies now. We're seeing expansion from the Big Bang. We're seeing increasing expansion. It's for the last 5 billion years. It's as if that expansion is taking us further and further. There's evidence of other Big Bangs that preceded us. We don't know. This thing is absolutely magnificent. It's so big. Our feeble human minds will find it very difficult to really understand it and come to grips with it. We've got limitations, and what's out there is way beyond the limitations we give it.
Well, Campbell, thank you so much for spending time with me here on Daily Spark TV. But before I let you go, can you remind everyone, please, what is the title of your book one more time? Where can we get a copy? And of course, how do we stay in contact with you?
Okay, the book is from the Mountaintop. It's available from Amazon, of course, Barnes and Nobles, and I believe there's lots of others that have it. The publishers are global. What are they? Global. Here we go. I've got to read it. That's how old I am. Page Turner, which you'll find on the websites. So,
thank you again, Campbell, for being a guest on Daily Spark TV.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And viewers, thank you for spending time with us here on Daily Spark TV. We hope that we have enlightened, inspired, and empowered you to become your best self. As always, may the Lord continue to shine his face upon you. May you receive his grace and his mercy in all that you do. Until next time, everyone, remember that you are blessed in the Lord. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Daily Spark TV. Are you an author with a faith-based book? Be a guest. Serious about your product or service and want to try something new? Sponsor an episode. I see you're ready to get started. So visit drangela.chester.com. Thanks again for watching Daily Spark TV.